Let's get started. Start with listening, and then learn new words and practice them in sentences.
Ever found yourself lost in a foreign city, struggling to understand the public transportation system? As anyone who's traveled can attest, trying to navigate buses, trains, and trams in an unfamiliar place can feel like trying to solve a complex puzzle. And when you add a language barrier into the mix, the challenge can seem insurmountable. From deciphering timetables to asking for directions, knowing the right words to use can make all the difference in reaching your destination. That's where we come in. This video aims to equip you with the essential vocabulary and phrases you need to confidently navigate public transportation in any English-speaking country. We'll cover everything from buying tickets to understanding common signs and announcements. Because, let's face it, getting from point A to point B should be the least of your worries when exploring a new place. With the right vocabulary and understanding, you can turn these challenges into a smooth journey. Understanding the language is the first step to mastering public transportation. Let's start with some essential vocabulary that you'll need to know. First up, bus stop. This is the place where you wait for your bus. For example, I'll meet you at the bus stop on Main Street. Next, we have train station, which is a place where trains stop so passengers can get on or off. You might say, I need to get to the train station by 5 o'clock. Now let's look at subway. The subway is an underground train system found in many major cities. You could use it in a sentence like this: I take the subway to work every day. Moving on to tram, it's similar to a bus, but it runs on tracks. For instance, the tram route passes by my house. Next, we have ticket. This is what you need to ride on public transportation. You might say, I need to buy a ticket for the bus. The term platform refers to the area where you wait for your train or subway. For example, the train for New York leaves from platform 3. Schedule is another important word. This is the timetable that shows when buses, trains, trams, or subways arrive and depart. You could say, I need to check the schedule to see when the next bus arrives. The word route refers to the path that the bus, train, tram, or subway takes. For instance, this bus route goes through the city center. Transfer is when you switch from one mode of transportation to another. For example, I need to transfer from the bus to the subway. Lastly, we have fare. This is the money that you pay to use public transportation. You might say, the fare for the bus is $2. Now that you know these words, you're well on your way to navigating public transportation like a pro. Knowing the right words is one thing, but putting them into sentences is another. Now that we've covered some essential vocabulary, let's dive into practical phrases that you can use while navigating public transportation. Firstly, buying tickets. If you're at a counter, you might say, I'd like a single ticket to Central Station, please. If you need a round-trip ticket, you could say, may I have a return ticket to the airport, please? If you're unsure about the price, you can ask, how much does it cost? Now let's move on to asking for directions. You could ask, which bus goes to the museum? Or, can you tell me where to get off for the library? If you're on the bus or train and you're not sure where to alight, you could ask a fellow passenger, excuse me, could you let me know when we reach Main Street? Understanding schedules can be a bit tricky, but don't worry, we've got you covered. If you're at a bus stop or train station and you want to know when the next service is, you could ask, when's the next bus to downtown? Or, what time is the last train to the city center? Now let's put these phrases into a conversation. Imagine you're at a bus station. You approach the ticket counter and say, good morning, I'd like a return ticket to Central Park, please. The ticket seller might respond with, sure, that'll be $10. You hand over the money and say thank you. Next, you need to find your bus. You ask a passerby, excuse me, which bus goes to Central Park? They might respond, you can take the number 20 bus. You thank them and then wait for your bus. Once you're on the bus, you can ask a fellow passenger, could you please let me know when we reach Central Park? With these phrases, you'll be able to communicate your needs effectively and understand the responses. Public transportation systems are filled with signs and announcements. But what do they mean? Let's delve into it. Imagine you're on a bustling subway platform. You see a sign that reads, no entry. This is pretty straightforward. It's a place you're not allowed to enter, perhaps because it's a restricted area or leading to an unsafe zone. Now, let's say you're on a bus and you hear an announcement, next stop Main Street. This is telling passengers that the next place the bus will stop is at Main Street. If that's where you're headed, it's time to prepare to disembark. Ever seen a sign that says out of service? This typically means that a bus, train, or subway line is temporarily unavailable. It could be due to maintenance, a technical issue, or a variety of other reasons. In such cases, you'll need to find an alternative route or mode of transportation. And then there are signs that read emergency exit. These are exits designed to be used in case of emergencies. They are usually marked with bright colors or flashing lights, and it's crucial to remember their locations. You've probably also encountered signs that read keep clear or stand behind the yellow line. These are safety instructions indicating where passengers should and shouldn't stand, particularly while waiting for or boarding a vehicle. Finally, let's talk about the announcement, please mind the gap. This is a common phrase used in English-speaking countries, especially in the UK, to remind passengers to be careful of the space between the vehicle and the platform when boarding or alighting. Remember, signs and announcements aren't there to confuse you. They're there to guide you, keep you safe, and help you navigate the system efficiently. And now that you know what they mean, you're one step closer to mastering public transportation. Being able to understand these signs and announcements will make your journey much easier. So keep your eyes and ears open, and you'll be navigating the city like a local in no time. Navigating public transportation in a foreign city can be daunting, but with the right tools, it doesn't have to be. Today, we've equipped you with some of these tools. We've journeyed through the essential vocabulary for different modes of transport, such as buses, trains, subways, and trams. We've tackled practical phrases for buying tickets, asking for directions, and understanding transportation schedules. We've also decoded common signs and announcements you might encounter in public transit systems. These skills are not just words or phrases, they are key components to traveling independently and efficiently. They enhance your mobility and boost your confidence in an English-speaking environment. Remember, practice makes perfect. The more you use these phrases and vocabulary, the more natural they will become. So don't be afraid to step out and explore. With these skills, you're ready to take on any public transportation system with confidence. Happy travels!
Let's learn new words and practice English at level B1. Public transportation. Public transportation, systems of transport available to the public, including buses, trains, subways, and other forms of transit. Example, public transportation in our city is very efficient and affordable. Timetable. Timetable, a schedule showing the times at which buses, trains, or other public transport vehicles arrive and depart. Example, always check the timetable to know when the next bus or train is due. Ticket. Ticket, a pass or slip of paper that allows the holder to enter or use public transportation. Example, you need to buy a ticket before you board the train. Fare. Fare, the money paid for a journey on public transportation. Example, the fare for a subway ride varies depending on how far you are traveling. Route. Route, a way or course taken in getting from a starting point to a destination. Example, the bus route covers all major attractions in the city. Transfer. Transfer, to change from one transportation vehicle to another during a journey. Example, you'll need to transfer to a different line to reach your destination. Conductor. Conductor, a person who collects fares and supervises passengers on a bus, train, or tram. Example, if you have any questions during your journey, you can ask the conductor for help. Platform. Platform, the area in a railway station where passengers wait for the train. Example, please wait for the train on platform number 4. Delay. Delay, a situation in which a train, bus, or other public transport is late. Example, there are often delays during peak hours due to the high volume of passengers. Commuter. Commuter, a person who travels some distance to work on a regular basis, usually from a suburb to a central city. Example, many commuters use the train to get to work every day.